Huh? Huh? Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Told you I was going to get a haircut. Sorry about having to skip last week. I was in court. When you're a betting man, the house always wins. Pete Rose passed away on the same day as Dikembe Mutombo. So there's some irony in MLB repeatedly telling Pete Rose, not in my house. And they say it always happens in threes, so. With the third pick in the 2024 It Happens in Threes draft, Hoagies and Pierogis selects Frank from American Pickers. I had Frank from American Pickers going off the board pretty soon, but this is a little bit of a reach, no? This was a sleeper pick for me. Not very much in the public eye for a while, but when he was, his program was prime nap time material. I mean, golly, where do we even start? There were so many good picks that became available since the last time Hoagies and Pierogis recorded. Chris Christopherson, John Amos, Ken Page, who was the voice of Oogie Boogie. Personally, I think I would have gone with Dame Maggie Smith. I mean, she was Professor McGonagall for crying out loud. Pure magic. Now, I know some teams prefer the non-fictional characters over the fictional ones, so we'll just have to see how this one plays out for Hoagies and Pierogis. The baseball regular season is over, which means the Pirates' suffering can end. But 4 weeks into the NFL season, the Patriots' suffering has only just begun. I'm a little tired. I was at a casino until 8 a.m. this morning, so bear with me. We have a lot to catch up on here. This is Hoagies and Pierogis, episode 121. Let's get into it.
Live from central Pennsylvania with your host Ian DiCarlo, this is Hoagies and Pierogis.
The ski stash! The ski stash!
Welcome to the Big Ten.
Patriots go with Drake May, let's go!
Just to touch on that, no, I was not at a casino until 8 a.m. this morning. C.J. Abrams was sent down to single A for gambling at a casino in Chicago until 8 a.m. the same day that they had a game at 2:20 p.m. 6 hours later, he needed to be at the ballpark, ready to be in the starting lineup. C.J. Abrams is the Nationals' starting shortstop. What can you possibly do at a casino all night like that? They don't kick you out ever? Do they stop serving alcohol? Are a casino and an airport the only places it's acceptable to have a drink at 8 a.m.? Ugh, so many questions. Jesus. Purely speculative, but I feel like he was, on coke or something. Because, I bet he got sent down to single A just so he doesn't get drug tested since their season is over. I mean, seriously, what can you possibly do in a casino for... I assume that he was there, at least since 10 p.m. You're not going to show up at a casino at 5 a.m. and start gambling. But yeah, that's a little bit crazy. All right, probably one of the biggest things that happened, because it is literally MLB history. Shohei Ohtani is your first ever 50-50 player. 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. And he does it in a season in which he did not pitch, where he wasn't really expected to do much. And he comes out and has one of the best seasons ever. Oh, and by the way, he also had 411 total bases. The first year a player has had over 400 since Todd Helton had 402 in 2001. It has been 23 years since a player has had more than 400 total bases. That's how good he is. And the 50th home run ball that the fan didn't give back, and good for him, is set to be put up for auction with a buy now price of $4.5 million. Never give the ball back in exchange for a picture with whoever hit an historic home run. Never. That's the dumbest trade ever. Oh, here's a picture and a signed bat instead of $4.5 million. And in auction, it's probably going to go for more than that. I would assume $5 million just to make it 5 for 5 for 5. The best tweet when he got to 51-51 was the 51 home runs, 51 stolen bases, 51 burgers, 51 hot dogs, 51 french fries, 51 tater tots. Perfect. Chef's kiss to that one. So, yeah, let's go over the Pirates' last 2 weeks, shall we? So, the last time we recorded, the Pirates had just come off a loss to the Cardinals. their second game of that series, and it was looking pretty grim for them hitting the over on that 75.5. I keep saying that. This is going to be the last episode I mention that. But yeah, they lost 3-1 in that game. Faltered to shit the bed. Let's not even go over this. Fuck that Cardinals series. They went 1-3 against them. You know what? Forget even sweeping them. They only went 1-2 against the Reds. So going into these final two series, the series against the Brewers and the Yankees, they needed 3 wins to hit that over. And I was stressing. I was shitting the bed. Well, I was out in Pittsburgh, and I decided to go to that first game of the series against the Brewers. They blew that game, and they lost 7-2, so I was really feeling the sweat going. Oh, man. So they now needed 3 wins in 5 games against the Brewers and the Yankees. Well, the next game, they did end up getting a win. I actually didn't go to this game. This game was the only game of the series that I didn't go to. And then the game in the afternoon against the Brewers, they lost 5-2. I don't know. Was it a coincidence the only game that I didn't go that they won? Maybe. But am I their bad luck charm? Possibly. It was their final homestand. I had to go. I always have a great time out there. There were some really good sights from the games. And actually, this picture from last Tuesday was the last time that I saw sunshine. It's been raining since then. So yeah, 1-3 against the Cardinals, 1-3 against the Reds, 1-3 against the Brewers. They needed 2 wins against the Yankees. And oh my God, it almost came down to the last game of the season. Like I was really hoping it wouldn't. Came down to the second to last one. They got their 76th win thanks to only 2 innings from Skeens, but also Mike Burrows, who made his MLB debut. Oh man, I was shocked. They had like 9 home runs against the Yankees in those first 2 games. It was just a slugfest for the Pirates, and they would not stop. Okay, and you know we absolutely have to go over Skeens. And you know while I was out there, I absolutely had to buy a Skeens jersey. There was no question about that. Skeens completed his rookie season 11-3 with 170 strikeouts, 32 walks, a 1.96 ERA, and a .947 whip in 23 starts. Just incredible. They threw him out there against the Yankees for 2 innings. Even though he could have gone more against them, I was shocked they didn't. It was the last game of the year. Let him go 5. Let him go for that win. But hey, he shoved in those 2 innings against the Yankees. He made Judge look silly.
Struck him out with a breaking ball.
He made Soto look silly.
1-2. Struck him out at 100. Inside corner.
And he made Jazz Chisholm look silly while he was laughing and walking off the field.
Struck him out looking, and if that's it for Skeens, he finishes an unbelievable rookie year.
He is disgusting, and it really took until this final start to see the culmination of all these starts, to see his first year in the bigs. Just how impressive that is stacked up against all of the other pitchers across the league. Third, he's going to get some Cy Young votes, undoubtedly. But, I mean, with the innings, it might be a little bit iffy. I know voters are very keen on seeing those 32 games started, over 200 innings pitched. So, Zach Wheeler might even win it, but Chris Sale probably will win it. This was an incredible season for him, and I cannot wait for him to build off of it and have a full season next year. Man, if this is not Rookie of the Year material, I don't know what is. You're going to say Jackson Merrill had a Rookie of the Year season when the season that he had is the exact same as Brian Reynolds' rookie season, and Brian Reynolds was like, I don't know. I don't even know what place he finished in Rookie of the Year voting. Maybe top 5. For some reason, 6th is coming to my mind. But he's like 8th in OPS among all rookies, which is just like, okay. It's not even that great. 8th among rookies. Skeens is 3rd among all starting pitchers in a lot of categories. I don't know about a lot of categories, but he'll probably get 3rd overall in the Cy Young voting. Jackson Merrill is not even going to sniff 3rd place in the NL MVP voting. That's crazy. I love Paul Skeens. And then he also finished with a 198.198 opposing batting average, lowest by a Pirates starter all time. So not only is he breaking Pirates rookie records, he's breaking Pirates pitching records completely. You have to give him Rookie of the Year. I mean, come on. He's going to be a 7-WAR pitcher for God knows how long. Hopefully, knock on wood, cross my fingers, hope to die. No, that's not how the saying goes. I hope he remains healthy, and if he can, he is on track for a career probably quite similar to Verlander's, if not more dominant. I can't wait to see it. Pirates finished the season 76 and 86 for the second year in a row. North Shore 9 brought up a good point. Last year they had the same record with 2 starting pitchers throughout the whole second half of the year. So how they managed to have the same exact record with a full rotation, a full 6-man rotation, honestly, is it's baffling. And because of that, Shelton wasn't fired. I have no idea how, but the hitting coach, Andy Haynes, thank God, was fired. Justin Meatcage, probably a good decision, was fired, their bullpen coach. And then the strength and conditioning coach, Adam Vish, also probably good. They had a lot of injuries, was fired as well. Like I said, shocked that Shelton is still the manager. What's next for them? I mean, hell, on paper, they got a lot better this year and ended up with the same record. So it really, I mean, you need some premium talent. You can't go scraping the bottom of the barrel. Rowdy Tellez, Aroldis Chapman was like your marquee free agent signing. Brian De La Cruz hasn't done anything since he's been traded. I mean, it's just, it's kind of, you're kind of just used to it as a Pirates fan, is that there are so many holes and the owner is just not willing to spend money. So it'll just kind of never get better. Where there's some disconnect with the players crushing AA and AAA and then floundering completely in the major leagues. So there needs to be some bridge there, some closing of the gap that needs to be done when it comes to development and then talent acquisition. So Nutting, open up that wallet, and coaches, get your heads out of your asses. Okay, going into more postseason stuff. We'll go over more postseason stuff like next week. Playoffs are just starting today, so I don't know how many people saw this Tigers fan, but he is crazy and makes so much sense at the same time.
I'm here in April. They got this netting. They got this netting above the dugout here, right? Yep. I'm here in April. Scooble tosses me this. It was a premonition. Why would he toss me a pumpkin seed when he could toss me a sunflower seed? Pumpkins are October. Pumpkins are playoffs. Scooble knows. Dude, a pumpkin seed from Turner. Yeah.
Magic pumpkin seed. What should we do next? Nothing. That's basically what the Tigers said at the trade deadline, and they still made it to the playoffs. So trust in the magic pumpkin seed. Okay, in these last 2 games to close out the year, the Mets and the Braves had to make up 2 games. They had to make up a doubleheader on Monday. That may have been the wildest game ever, the first game of the series. The win percentage chart, or the win probability chart, is a roller coaster. The Mets come back to win it, and I feel really good for Francisco Lindor. Has he ever made it to the playoffs with the... He did make it to the playoffs with the Indians, yeah, in 2015 when they lost to the Cubs. Or 2016. Was that 2015 or 2016? Whatever year the Cubs won, the Indians were in the World Series that year. So he has been there before, but I think it's been since then that he's been back to the playoffs. And then the second game of that series, the Braves scratched Chris Sale and still won the game, meaning that the Diamondbacks were eliminated. So the Rangers and the Diamondbacks both missed the playoffs after facing one another in the World Series last season, and that's the first time that's happened since the Cardinals and the Tigers missed the playoffs in 2007 after facing each other in 2006. So that's actually a really surprising stat. I thought that would be way, way closer than that. Cubs Indians would be a good example. Who didn't make the playoffs the next year? I don't think the Cubs made it. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. The stats right here in front of my face, and I'm trying to prove it wrong by not even looking it up. Okay, Ian. Last thing I wanted to touch on for baseball. Rest in peace to Pete Rose. My buddy has an autographed baseball from him that says, "I am Batman" on it, and I think that's pretty damn funny. I'm going to get him to send me that picture, and I'll put it in here. But yeah, it was very weird when MLB posted on Twitter, "Rest in peace to Pete Rose. Like, you'll be sorely missed. You're, the all-time hits leader." Bitch, you do not get to say anything. Just stay quiet on this one would have been the best possible thing for them to do. And they just had to go out and shoot themselves in the foot like MLB always does. All right, we're going to move on from that, but also rest in peace to Dikembe Mutombo. I heard that his family asked him where he wanted to spend his final moments, and he replied, not in my house, in a strip club. Hey. Okay, let's move on to some football here. Let's start off with college football. I'm just going to do all of college football the past 2 weeks, and then I'll do NFL the past 2 weeks. Holy shit, honestly, who cares about anything besides that Georgia-Alabama game on Saturday night? But we do really have to go over week 4 and the rest of week 5 first. Okay, for the most part, I'm just going to stick to notable games. Nothing really crazy happened. Illinois-Nebraska was a great Friday night game that went into overtime that Illinois won. And they shut down Dylan Raiola. The whole time, every time I watched the game, I was loosely watching it. I was playing Wukong a little bit, and then I had it on while I was grinding. I think Nebraska was overhyped to begin with, and that kind of proves it because, Illinois, this week kind of fallen down a little bit, back to where they started. They were number 24 against Nebraska when they beat them. And then they moved up to number 19, and then after losing to Penn State, they're back down to 24. So they cannot make up their mind. Friday night games, though, have been great. Oh, put good games on Friday nights. And I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but they've been excellent. Penn State beat Kent State 56-0. Not a surprise after Kent State lost 70-0 the previous week. Texas beat UL Monroe 51-3. Texas came in. Arch Manning in his first start took care of business against General Booty, who played like Booty. General Booty had 42 yards. After that initial interception from Arch Manning, he threw 2 darts for touchdowns. Ohio State started really slow against Marshall, but came back to win 49-14. Ole Miss. You rolled against Georgia Southern. What the fuck happened? Tennessee was looking really good against Oklahoma early. They didn't really put up too many points in the second half, but it was 19-3 at halftime. And that was a pick where I was like, oh, Tennessee might blow out Oklahoma. And when it was, 19-3, actually it was 10-3 pretty early on. I was like, oh, here it comes. So I felt pretty good about that one. Tennessee won 25-15. Missouri almost lost to Vanderbilt in double overtime. They snuck away with that win 30-27. Miami crushed South Florida. This was the big game of the week, USC against Michigan. USC really could not do much against that Michigan defense. They kind of woke up and got things going again after they lost to Texas. So Michigan won that one 27-24. Miller Moss was kept in check for the most part, 28-51 through a touchdown in garbage time. Utah beat Oklahoma State. I don't know if that was that wasn't even an upset. Utah was 12, Oklahoma State was number 14. Utah only won 22-19. But this probably ended up being the biggest game of the week just because of the stakes. BYU upset Kansas State 38-9. And the best part about this was that St. Bill Snyder on Twitter tweeted, "If K-State loses to BYU, I'll shove a beefy 5-layer burrito up my ass." Ladies and gentlemen, the madman delivered. Let's go. I don't even You know what? I'm not going to put this... I'll blur it out. I'm not going to put the full picture on YouTube, but I will definitely just blur out the butt. But he... It looks like it's in there a little bit. He might just be clenching it with his butt cheeks, but he showed his ass, and there's a beefy 5-layer burrito in there, so he delivered. No doubt about it. The best part was the tweet after that said, "Wife found out, I'm cooked." This guy put a beefy 5-layer burrito in the freezer for a week. A week! Before the reveal on Twitter the next week. Wow. The dedication is golden. You have to give it to him. I mean, this is impressive. Okay. Anything else that happened in week 4 here? Oh, Florida State got their first win against Cal. That's what it was. Yes, Florida State won 14-9. It was, again, horrible, but Cal somehow was even worse. I don't know how. I don't know how Cal was worse. How now, brown cow? Colorado beat Baylor in overtime after Colorado tied the game with a Hail Mary in regulation. That was excellent to make it 31-31, and then they obviously won in overtime. And that is it for week 4 here. All right, let's preview week 5. No. Just get into week 5. And you thought that the Illinois-Nebraska overtime game was exciting? How about a reversed Hail Mary to send Miami home with the win against Virginia Tech 38-34? This is a little bit of controversy here. Initially ruled on the field as a touchdown, Virginia Tech threw a Hail Mary at the end of the game, and it was ruled a touchdown on the field. And it was not clear. It was absolutely not clear. I really don't know how they called it a touchdown in the first place. But they went to review, and like I said, it wasn't clear at all. But they overturned the play, and it was incomplete. I saw a lot of people saying that, oh, the refs just didn't want to be killed leaving Miami. Well, there's that. But I really don't think it was a catch in the first place. Let's be honest. If the ball was still being bobbled by the receiver, but a defender out of bounds touches the ball while it's being bobbled, it's incomplete. And that's kind of what looked like happened in the replay. Like I said, kind of inconclusive, but if you go by that, that's probably why it was overturned. And then look at Rutgers here on a Friday night, beating Washington 21-18. Rutgers is 4-0. Oh, shit. I know Shane said to watch out for him in the fantasy draft. If you watch the fantasy draft, your money. I had a decent week on picks. I went 2 for 2. Or I went 2 and 2. This one was a big stressor. Penn State, I had the alt cover of 10.5. They score a late touchdown to win by 14 and beat Illinois 21-7. So, yeah, like I said, Illinois back down to number 20. We'll go over the rankings later. Fuck that. Penn State just wins that game. Texas took care of business against Mississippi State, 35-13. We'll go over the Georgia-Bama game last. This one, my ride or die for the season, looking like die. Ole Miss lost to Kentucky, 20-17, on some bullshit. Ole Miss, what the fuck was going on? What were you doing? Designed quarterback runs with a Jackson Dart? What? Do you forget you have one of the best tight ends and wide receivers in the country? You have a good running back? What are you doing? Jackson Dart is not him. No, he is not. I don't understand why. The play calling to me made absolutely zero sense in this game. And the designed quarterback runs were always on second down, and it never fucking worked. Never worked. I was shocked to see them try to do that, try to run the ball so much. It was just like the middle of the field was not an option at all for them. I don't know if that Kentucky was doing that or if they were just doing that to themselves. But it's just confusing. What a shank by the kicker, too, to blow the game. He was about to tie it up. It was like, what, a 49-yard field goal, I think? It was within 50 yards. Way left. Immediately, you could tell it was never going to make it. Ugh, fucking Ole Miss. I actually didn't see this until right now. Arizona upset Utah. Oh, shit. Arizona finally living up to the hype a little bit, huh? They won 23-10. Oh, fuck. Wow, that's actually shocking with how bad Arizona looked against Kansas State 2 weeks ago. Michigan survived against Minnesota. I don't know what Minnesota was doing in the fourth quarter, but they scored 21 points in the fourth quarter after Michigan was up 24-3. Damn, Minnesota almost stormed back. That's scary for Michigan. USC beat Wisconsin. Fucking Louisville, Notre Dame. Louisville, what were you doing? God, so much bullshit. I don't know. Again, what were these play calls? The first quarter was a complete mess. It was 21-7 after the first quarter. I turned the game off after that. Louisville managed to stay in the game, and until the last drive that they had, they were kind of in it, but they still looked bad. There was never any moment on the last drive where I was like, oh, they can definitely do this. They can definitely do this. I was more like, come on. I know this isn't going to happen, but come on. What are you doing? I had them plus 6.5 at plus 100. You always have to take the plus 100 spreads. Plus 6.5. And they lost by 7. Not like they would have kicked the field goal. They would have went for it on a fourth down, in Notre Dame's territory. But just a disappointing game for Louisville. They lost 24-31. I think Clemson storming back a little bit. They're scoring a lot of points. They beat Stanford 40-14. After last week, they won 50-15. I know whoever they were playing last week wasn't good, but still, points are points. Kansas State demolished Oklahoma State. That wasn't even close. 42-20. And then, surprise, surprise, Northern Illinois lost in week 4 against Buffalo. So, yeah, they were not ranked for long. What did I tell you? Oh, James Madison scored 63 points this week after putting up 70 on North Carolina the week before. And that game was actually crazy. It was like a basketball score. It was 70-50. James Madison over North Carolina. I'm like, what? And then this game, James Madison beat Ball State 63-7. James Madison, they're trying to make a case. 12-team playoff this year, baby. Let's go. Any other unranked matchups here? I believe. Oh yeah, Florida State got blown out 42-16 against SMU. But yeah, that's it for the unranked matchups. Let's get to the best game of the year, and it will be for a while. Georgia, Alabama. Alabama went up 21-0 in the first quarter, and then actually in the second quarter made it 28-0. And the route we all thought was on. But no. Hold on 1 second. Bama scored 9 points in the second quarter. Georgia only scored that one touchdown. So it was 30-7 at halftime. And then even after the third quarter, it was 15-33 Alabama. I don't know what got into Georgia. So Georgia made it 21-33 with 9:55 left. Then with 5 minutes, 39 seconds left, they made it 28-33. Then with 2 minutes and 31 seconds left, they took the lead and made it 34-33. They missed the 2-point conversion in two out of the 3 of those touchdowns. The first one of those touchdowns and the third one of those touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Would this have played out a little bit differently if they made both of them? Maybe, but it didn't matter because with 2 minutes and 18 seconds left, 13 seconds later, Jalen Milroe throws a dime to Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams is otherworldly out there, and he is 17 years old. Dead legs him, does a spin move to get around him, and sprints to the end zone. Bama goes up 41-34 almost immediately after they make their 2-point conversion.
追い上げる。先ほどはオーバーテイク取りを見せた。さあ今度はどういうことになりますか。川端が見えてきてぴったりと斉藤がうわーマッシュうわー すごいクラッシュとんでもない状態で2台が大クラッシュ
And actually, Georgia almost tied up the game, or at least they probably would have gone for the tie. They made it all the way inside the red zone, but then Carson Beck threw a pick on what was the same. They called almost the same exact play 2 times in a row to the same receiver, same defender. In the first play, he almost got a pass interference called on him because he wasn't playing the ball, and he was really lucky because his arm hit the receiver's arms before the ball got there. But it was just a split second. It was totally fine. No one's really complaining about that. They run the same play, interception. Defender recognizes it, plays the ball this time, snags the ball right out of the air, gets the interception in the end zone. Bama comes away with the win, 41-34. And Milroe, Heisman performance. Oh my God. 27-33, 374 yards, 2 touchdowns. Passing, he had that interception. But then he also had 16 carries, 117 yards, and 2 touchdowns rushing. If that isn't Heisman worthy, then I don't know what is. In the same way that Skeens had his Rookie of the Year season, this is Jalen Milroe having his Heisman season. Give it to him now. I mean, this is all said and done. Alabama seems to be far and away the best team in the country. I really want to see him play Texas. And actually, when is that game? Oh, Texas isn't on the schedule. Those lucky bastards. Oh, we might have to see it in the SEC championship. Okay, but yeah, that was an incredible game. A lot of the time this year, teams that have had a shot to win have been shooting themselves in the foot like over and over and over again. It's all been awful. That Bama-Georgia game was the first game this year where even if Bama lost, it wouldn't have been some bullshit. South Carolina blowing the game against LSU, bullshit. Louisville making it seem like it was their job to fuck up against Notre Dame, bullshit. Ole Miss being shocked when the design QB run didn't work with Jackson Dart 10 separate times, bullshit. Great game. A game of the year, easily. All right, let's go over this top 25, this new top 25. I don't know about this. I don't know about Bama jumping up to number 1. Do I agree with them being there? Being top 2? Obviously, yes. Number 1 over Texas, just because Texas didn't blow out Mississippi State? I don't know. And they still won 35-13, so are we moving things around a little bit too much here? I know the AP poll obviously isn't the final, deciding factor, but it does kind of lay the groundwork, I think, for the college football top 25. So yeah, Bama 1, Texas 2. Ohio State stays put at number 3. Tennessee moves up to number 4, and then Georgia moves down to number 5, which I definitely expected that, especially with Ole Miss losing. So that means Oregon moves up 2, Penn State moves up 2, Miami went down 1 because they struggled against Virginia Tech, I guess. Missouri up 2, Michigan up 2, USC up 2, and Ole Miss down 6 from number 6 to number 12. Ugh. You're pushing it, Ole Miss. Don't make me regret riding you from the beginning of the season, because I'm going to keep doing it. Even though you lost this week against Kentucky, you'll rebound. I think. But yeah, lots of movement up here because Utah also lost. They went from number 10 to number 18. And then Louisville down 7 to number 22. Illinois, like I said, down to 24. So we got Alabama 1, Texas 2, Ohio State 3, Tennessee 4, Georgia 5, Oregon 6, Penn State 7, Miami 8, Missouri 9, Michigan 10, USC 11, Ole Miss 12. Lots of parity in college football this year. I'm liking it. Notre Dame's climbing back up. They're number 14. Clemson's climbing back up 15. Like I said, they're scoring points, so they should be moving up. BYU up 5 to number 17 is kind of surprising. Boise State up to 21, moving up 4 from number 25. So I like it. All right, what's in store for week 6 here? Let's just go top 25. Oregon, Michigan State on Friday night. Maybe that'll be good. UNLV finally has a game, a ranked game. People have kind of been waiting for them to be ranked, and they're finally number 25 this week. And they have a game against Syracuse, 9 p.m. on Friday night. I'm going to be tuning into that one. Let's go. That's definitely going to be a good game in my opinion. Oh, man. Penn State, UCLA. Penn State should win that handily. They're favored by 28. Jesus Christ. Missouri, Texas. Oh, sorry. Missouri, Texas A&M, not Missouri and Texas. That looks like a pretty good ranked on ranked matchup there. And in fact, is the only ranked on ranked matchup next week. So not a lot of excitement. We got Michigan facing off against Washington in a rematch of the college football championship last year. See if Washington can do anything. I really don't think they can. They just lost to Rutgers. But yeah, all right. Is that it for college football? Oh man. Yeah, I do think that's it. Seems like it's going to be a slow Saturday. All right, let's get into the NFL here. Okay, week 3, first game of the week, Patriots Jets. Do I have any expectations for this game? No, not really, other than not getting blown out by the Jets. But what happened? They got blown out by the Jets, 24-3. And it was from the start. The offensive line couldn't do anything, and Jacoby Brissett, I feel so bad for him. I don't know if that's his face when he was like, being like, "What do you want me to do?" Or if that was his face when he was benched for Drake May in the fourth quarter. I almost said Mac Jones. Oh my God. That was really bad. And of course, I had Ramondre Stevenson. 0.3 fantasy points, 23 yards and a fumble. Come on. They couldn't do anything. Malik Neighbors kind of had a breakout game here. 2 touchdowns against the Browns. That's basically the only reason they won. Malik Willis got his revenge against the Titans. The Vikings were on a roll against the Texans. They crushed them 34-7. Sam Darnold, amazing. Eagles come away with the win against the Saints, 15-12. And of course, the week before, I was like, oh, Rashid Shaheed is getting the start, 100%. Rashid Shaheed, this motherfucker had 0 points against the Eagles. Come on. 0 catches, 0 yards. He made up for it this week, though, a little bit. Broncos beat the Buccaneers after I picked up the Buccaneers defense. I think the Buccaneers defense had 2 points, so that was pleasant. The Panthers got the win after starting Andy Dalton. Oh, you know it. Oh, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns for Andy Dalton. Really? That's all it took, huh? Ravens beat the Cowboys, and this was Derrick Henry's breakout game for the season. Oh my God, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. Shredded that Cowboys defense. The Cowboys looked pitiful. Rams came away with the win against the 49ers. The Chiefs beat the Falcons. Lions beat the Cardinals. You want to talk about getting blown out. The Jaguars might be the worst team in the league, or they might just have the worst luck because they've had a pretty tough schedule so far. They lost against the Bills 47-10. Oh my God. That's just embarrassing. Josh Allen threw for 4 touchdowns. And then, I mean, this has to be the game of the year if you like offense. No turnovers, no punts. The Commanders beat the Bengals 38-33. Jaden Daniels was almost flawless. 21 for 23, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns. Add on 39 yards rushing with another touchdown. And Joe Burrow actually had a good game too. Like I said, there were no punts at all in this game. Burrow went 29 for 38, 324 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, you want to talk about a shootout. This was nice. This is a great Monday night game. In terms of the Patriots, not a pretty week. But this week didn't really get any better as they were facing the 49ers. So, I mean, I wasn't expecting anything again this week. But a blowout was on my mind. But stupid me decided to put $10 on the Patriots plus 10.5. There's always some hope. So there was that one thing that I was hoping that they would do. And they actually came close. It was 13-30. Patriots last drive. They were looking good, looking so solid. And then what happens? And I think we might have an issue here. Ramondre Stevenson fumbles the fucking ball. My eye just twitched. I just had like a little conniption. Hold on to the ball. Stevenson, this team has enough problems. So, yeah, not only did David Andrews go out in this game with an injury, Caden Wallace, or rookie tackle, also left the game. So, who is on that line? Viridian Lowe was out, was inactive. Who the fuck was playing? Was Austin Hooper your left tackle? Are you serious? You're telling me Hunter Henry was throwing blocks out there as your main tackle? What? So now, not only was the offensive line struggling and also is now being decimated by injuries, the secondary was struggling, and Kyle Duggar got hurt. What's gonna happen? We're playing the Dolphins next week. Tyler Huntley might shred them. It's just not looking pretty for the Patriots. Well, Joey Sly, I guess, was a good addition. He broke the team record and kicked a 64-yard field goal. So, or no, was it 64? 63-yard field goal, my bad. Team record. So there's that at least. Joey Sly is a good kicker. That's about all I can give the Patriots right now is that they have a good kicker. But yeah, I mean, this was expected. Totally expected. Last week against the Jets, they kind of showed the team that they really are and who they were supposed to be. And they showed more of the same against the Niners. So I'm just hoping that they could put up a fight against the Dolphins. Tyreek might have like 200 yards against them. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect anymore. It's bad. But yeah, Cowboys-Giants was the Thursday night game that week. Cowboys won. It was a very boring game. I fell asleep in the second quarter. Young-Ho Koo gives the Falcons basically the walk-off kick against the Saints. They won 26-24. Bears got their second win after beating the Rams 24-18. The Vikings are still rolling, 4-0. They beat the Packers 31-29. I mean, when you have Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson out there just both going off, you're never going to win against that. Oh, and Jordan Love made his comeback. Ooh, it was even sweeter that they lost. No, he actually had a really good game. 389 yards, 4 touchdowns, 32 of 54, whatever. When you throw that many passes, you're going to probably be behind and need to throw that many. So it's very impressive off a sprained MCL, I guess. Colts beat the Steelers, and Michael Pittman actually did something because Joe Flacco's in there throwing the ball and actually, at an NFL level. Broncos won the ugliest game of the year, 10-9 against the Jets. Buccaneers crushed the Eagles, 33-16. Let's see here. Bengals finally got the win against the Panthers, 34-24. Xavier Leggett, protect him at all costs. He is a national treasure. This celebration is 100% him. No one else can do this in the league. Ride that horse all the way to the bank, Xavier Leggett. Jaguars still winless after barely losing to the Texans. The Texans led a game-winning drive to go up 24-20. And the Jaguars are just floundering. There's Doug Peterson. You're out. You may as well already name Bill Belichick your head coach. I mean, it only makes sense for Brady to go from New England to Florida and then for Bill to go from New England to Florida. Commanders keep rolling, crushing the Cardinals 42-14. Daniels 26 of 30, 233 yards and a touchdown. Accurate as fuck. I did not expect this at all. Whoa, maybe I should have. But this is extremely impressive. Everyone's like, oh, well, look at him. Jaden Daniels is actually playing. Now, I wonder if Drake May would actually play. I wonder if he would play, if he would actually get better. Jaden Daniels has like 50 college starts. Drake May has, 24? 25? Yeah, it's not surprising that Jaden Daniels is kind of NFL ready. Raiders beat the Browns. And oh boy, Patriots, if you want to make yourself better, here's a little bit of news for you. Devontae Adams just today requested a trade from the Raiders. The Raiders said that they would consider trading him for a second rounder and additional compensation. Patriots, you know what to do. So people can shut up and let May chuck the ball to Adams for a half season. Please. I'm sure you can get that down to like a third rounder if teams aren't biting at the bit to get him. Hey, even a second rounder and maybe like a sixth, maybe a fifth next year. I'd take it. I'd do it. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you want to shut people up, Patriots, you know exactly what to do. Go out and get Devontae Adams. Chiefs came back to win the game 17-10 against the Chargers. And then in a surprising game, the Ravens destroyed the Bills 35-10. After the Bills blew out the Jaguars the previous week 47-10, Ravens, I mean, hell, basically may as well have been the same thing. Derrick Henry, again, went off 199 yards and a touchdown. What? Lamar, 3 total touchdowns. Incredible game. Just all around from the Ravens. All right, Monday night, Will Levis got hurt, and Mason Rudolph led the Titans to the win, which means that the Titans still have not named Mason Rudolph the starting quarterback. Will Levis looks hopeless out there, and Mason Rudolph came in and gave them their first win of the season, and you're going to say, fuck you, Mason Rudolph? Mike Tomlin would never. And then for the final game of week 4, Lions. Actually, this was also another exciting Monday night game. 42-29. The Lions beat the Seahawks. And when you go beast mode against the Seahawks, it has to be one of the highest honors in football. David Montgomery, this was incredible. And holy shit, Geno Smith had 395 yards and a touchdown. Seems like the offenses are starting to heat up now. Might want to bet a little bit more of those overs, huh? No, not the Dolphins. I wanted to go to week 6 or week 5. All right, next week, like I said, the Patriots face the Dolphins, and they're back home, so at least they're not in Miami. That's all I can ask for this game. Do literally anything. I mean, show some improvement. Not this. Bucks-Falcons might be a good Thursday night game tonight. Bears-Panthers, Ravens-Bengals. Bills-Texans might be good. Cowboys-Steelers on Sunday night. That should be a decent game. Steelers are favored by 2.5 right now. And then to round out week 5, we got Saints-Chiefs. Sorry I don't seem so enthusiastic about football this year. It's just, I don't know. Last year, didn't have any expectations for the Patriots. I expected them to, well, actually I did. Expected them to win at least 10 games. No, that didn't happen. So this year, now that I'm expecting them to be bad, it's kind of like, well, what else is going on? And I kind of got wrapped up in college football. But yeah, I got it more on the college football train this year. All right, I can already tell this one's going to be long. I think that's it for sports. So let's scroll Twitter here, make sure I didn't forget anything. I'm sure I did. MLB is going to go back to having players wear their primary home and road jerseys in the All-Star game next year. Thank God. Yeah, I think I actually covered everything that I wanted to talk about pretty well here. Usually there's always 1 or 2 things I forget to talk about. But yes, this one is not pertaining to sports. But I mean, it could have been a sport. Platinuming Wukong. Yes, I platinumed Black Myth Wukong. It took forever to find all of the fucking armor pieces and the curiosities. Oh my God. Well worth it. Apparently they have a DLC plan, so I do want to beat the game 3 times to get the Wukong stance. I know that sounds insane, but actually New Game Plus was really easy. I was super over leveled for it. So just need to beat the final boss one more time in New Game Plus, and then I'm done with that. So just got to beat it one more time, and then I got the Wukong stance. This is probably, honestly, one of my greatest accomplishments over the past couple years is beating this damn game. And it's more so just the determination, the stick with itness, the don't get too frustrated, don't just stick with one thing. I set a goal for myself at the beginning of the game. I said that I was going to platinum it, and I finally platinumed it on Sunday. So it feels extremely satisfying. I am really looking forward to the DLC, but now I don't know what else to play. I mean, yeah, college football, but man, guys, come on. It should not take 1 week to play just one game in college football. We should be going through multiple weeks in 1 week. What are we doing? But all right, yeah. All right, everybody. Like I said, this might be a long one. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like and comment on each video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hoagies and Pierogis is available on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram for clips throughout the week. And we'll leave you with this. Munch, punch, 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 punch.
Live from Central Pennsylvania with your host Ian DiCarlo, this is Hoagies and Pierogis.
The ski stash! The ski stash!
Welcome to the Big Ten.
Patriots go drink, mate. Let's go!